a collective voice seems to be the strongest way of almost neutralizing the power and control, so that there is a world that we create where everyone's voice gets heard.
Of course. What you have are two opposing forces, that which is self-sovereignty and that which is self-development and self-understanding. Non-judgmentalness around what it is that you are trying to achieve. That is love. Of course, the power and control people, systems, are based in fear. They are desiring to move you from love into fear. So there is always that battle between love and fear. And it is only through consciousness, understanding what your physical body is saying to you, what you are saying to you consciously and intuitively, that is the position that you are in love or you are in fear. It's important. It's very simple when you come down to it that, as we have said, you can remove yourself at any moment in your day. Just stop what you are doing, whether you are at a desk at work or whether you are with a client or whether you are somewhere in the world relaxing on a beach or whatever it is. Simply stop and understand in which position you are, in love or in fear. It is for you to decide whether, if you come to the conclusion that you are in fear, what is it that you are going to do about it? Because there are levels of fear that you can sustain in terms of that which is perhaps important for you to stay in a relationship for the sake of a child, for instance. Some people will put themselves in the firing line of the power and control structures to protect other people. So there is love, but there is also fear that is mixed together. And you cannot separate that there is the foregoing of the self for that which is another individual through love, but in a fearful position. What is important is that there are alternatives to that there is a consciousness or a conscious decision that is being made to put yourself in that position. Look at what you are addicted to. Not when we are talking about your consciousness, but what your physical body is demanding of you to sustain the way that you are currently in. If it is, for instance, sugar, again, this is an important aspect because that is one of the chemicals, it is a natural substance, of course, but it is something that the physical body can become very easily addicted to, and over time becomes very difficult to get yourself off. And so what we are saying is that companies will use that in order to generate money, which of course allows them and creates a better way of surviving for them. And what is important is your consciousness around what it is that you are choosing. When you think you are choosing it or not, it is what you are attracting. Then you have the choice as to whether you engage in it or not. Moving into that position of being the observer of what is the influences that are being placed upon you, or what you are doing, because it may well be that you have become someone that is putting out influence, trying to influence people to do certain things, whether you are at work as a boss or a manager or whatever it is. To understand why you are doing it consciously and whether or not it's leaving, what the impact it is leaving on not just you but on those that are in that.
Those that you're influencing. Absolutely. I think it's all down to conscious awareness, isn't it? And then actioning your true beliefs, but having an awareness of, as you say, the range as well between love and fear, because although love and fear is how we would categorize the duality, if you like, there are other emotions like anger or jealousy or guilt that come from the stable of fear.
Yes.
But that people wouldn't say, well, I'm angry, I'm not fearful. But that what we're really needing to explain is that there's more to it than just fear, but anger comes from fear.
Now that is the root emotion. The original emotion, fear, gives rise to all of those negative energies, all of those negative emotions, if you want to call them negative. Some fear is very healthy. We have said this before, that it can be the alert mechanism for you consciously as to what is occurring within the nature of the life that you have created.
Yes, if you're standing on the edge of a cliff, it can be quite useful to have the fear kick in so that you don't step off.
But it is the fear in relation to what is being put upon you from perhaps somebody else, or by a particular product that is put out there in the marketplace by those that are desiring your money.
I think following the money is quite an important aspect to it. And the other one I think we have discussed before is for each individual to also become conscious of their beliefs and ask where they come from, who put them there, and are they true, even slightly true.
Well, you are stepping into an area which is quite complex in terms of the ability to understand where your beliefs come from. And then also, once those beliefs have gone, what are they then replaced with? Other beliefs? Or are they replaced or not replaced by nothing? If there is no belief, then you are open to everything. You are not saying that is better than this or that is better than that. What you are saying is there is equality there, and you are just attracting what it is that you desire. There is not a belief that a particular chocolate bar is any better than another one. It is just sugar at the end of the day which your body is desiring. But in terms of the belief that, for instance, one product is better than another, where does that belief come from? It is either in the marketing campaigns of the industries that create those products, or it is that you have been given that particular product through your childhood, that you have become used to that, and you seek or see an affinity with that particular product because of what it has done for you. It has given you comfort in times when you have been in fear as a child, for instance. So it is understanding what is the basis of your actions, not just your beliefs. What is the basis of your actions at this present moment in time? Where do they come from? Can they change? Can you change them to create a life that is better for you? That which is the physical body.
Where the physical body is really healthy and you're living in a sustainable way, happily, and in the energy of love, with healthy relationships around.
Well, it is interesting that there is an assumption that everyone wants to be happy, that there is an assumption that everybody wants to feel love, that everybody can feel love. Everybody is love, that is what we would say, but not everybody is happy. You do not need to be happy, of course, in terms of that which, as we have said sometimes before, getting the balance. Happiness is not the balance. Happiness is a positive emotion. But that is for you to decide. If you can maintain happiness for a permanent period of time, then you can sell it because it has value.
Maybe we could just be unhappy while we're sleeping and have the happiness while we're awake.
That is even more important to understand who you are when you are asleep. That you are not happy, you are not sad, you are not love, you are not fear, because you are not human. It is only when you awake that you awake back into the duality of love and fear, happiness or sadness. There is no duality when you are asleep.
That's interesting. What about our own power and control? There's a feeling that if we're in control of ourselves and our ability to make informed choices, that we can really create the life that we each individually and then collectively desire, free from all the influences and corruption currently controlling humanity.
That is where all individual human beings, we would suggest, should be heading and should be inquiring into the nature of your own ability to be powerful for yourself as an individual person. And that power itself is arising out of being able to manifest and create the life that you desire through manifestation, through what you might say is the manipulation of energy. But bringing in, that is your power. That is your power base. It is part of your unique belief system that you create as an understanding, not that is connected to something else somebody has said, but is your direct experience of what your potential is. That is your power, the power of your potential. When you create and move through that potential and you end up with something at the end of it, the art that the artist creates contains that power, contains that, whether it is visual or whether it is audible, whatever it is. Your power then gets transferred into the object or the experience that you have created. That is power. And then to be able to seek to influence people through the placing of power in that experience, but saying to people, it is your choice, it is your desire as to whether or not you engage in it. It is simply there as the manifestation of myself and the life that I have created and decided to create and live. If you desire some of it, this is what I did. Now, if you desire it also, then potentially you can replicate it. But what you cannot do, you cannot say to somebody that if you do this, this, this and this, then you will have the same experience as I have had. Because there are different layers, there are different defenses, there are different ways energy flows through their body. All you can do is present yourself to the world. That is your power, and say, this is what I have created as my identity, as my life, as my way of being.
And this is how I've done it, and these are the beliefs I've adopted, and how I actually choose each and every moment, how I choose to feel.
Yes. That is true. And you can look out into the world and you can see these people that are shining really brightly, and that they are attracting people into their energy field. What do you think is happening? There is an influence in terms of the power that they have, and that they are coming in to the power energy field of that particular person. It is impacting their physical body. It is changing their physical body. But if they go back to that which is the life that they have created, even though they have spent time in somebody that is high energy, then that energy will disappear and that life will recreate itself that they were once in before.
So how does that actually work? Firstly, energetically, whilst you are in the aura or the influence sphere of the bright person, how does that happen? And then what could help somebody sustain that when they do perhaps go back to their family life or the drudgery of their work? How can they be helped to seek the right thing to make the changes more permanent?
Well, what happens when you walk into the energy field of somebody else is that your energy and their energy begin to blend. We've talked about blending energies, and the only thing that can occur when two energies blend is what occurs. And when you have a high energy and a lower energy, what tends to happen is, if there is unconsciousness around, that they will balance each other out. But if the person that is the higher energy is consciously maintaining that level of energy that they have, that level of consciousness, they will begin to draw that person up in the vibrational frequency towards them, but will not drop down to meet them. So what occurs is the vibrational frequency of the physical body of the person that was lower will begin to rise. They will begin to feel more energized. They will begin to feel the energy flow more freely. They will have discounted any of the blocks that they came with. They become caught up in the consciousness and the energy field of the person that is in front of them. Then what happens, in terms of what they are left with, is a direct experience of what it is like to be of a particular vibrational frequency. When they go back into that which is the vibrational frequency of their everyday life, then they will drop, because it is not sustainable, because it is not it is not embedded within their physical framework, it is not embedded within the way that they live their life. But there will be a residual impact. There will be part of that energy still within their body. It is that residual trace of energy that they need to take within their consciousness and begin to grow. They need to begin to take that and understand how they can change their life, how they can utilize that change of vibrational frequency to affect the outside world in which they operate. It is down to the way that they think. It is down to the way that they understand themselves. primarily it is down to the understanding of what they believe or what they think about themselves and their self-worth. That is again power that they give to themselves when they see that they are worth something more than they perceived themselves the previous day. That they have had an experience, they have seen the possibilities, they desire the possibilities and intend to be those possibilities. They accept and surrender to it. And it will come. It may not happen overnight. For some people it will. And those, in terms of when you look at those experiences, those that are resonating mostly with the high energy people will change the quickest because they are closest to that vibrational frequency. Those that are lower down, and of course what will happen is that it will take time for the vibrational frequency to raise up.
And it seems as though you, as you've pointed out, that the starting point really is acknowledging the feelings that you have for yourself, your own self-worth, questioning it, and perhaps even seeking some therapy or healing it in some way so that you can actually get to the truth that you are equal to all and that you are just as worthy as anyone else of anything. Of course.
That is the basis of personal power.
Absolutely. And so the more that people can help empower others by giving them some strength to find that within themselves. I know you can't do it for somebody, but you can perhaps pave the way so that they're in a place where they can start to discover it for themselves.
You simply make yourself available to that, because when somebody comes and sits in your energy field, listens to what it is that you have to say, which is part of your energy field anyway, then they become empowered by your energy. Of course, you can see in the world that there are people that go to see other people, spiritual people, and no words are exchanged. And yet there is still a transformation that occurs, because it is not necessarily the energy of the words or sounds or colours. It is the energy of the person that they sit in, because it is extended out from that which is the physical body. It becomes available for everyone.
And that sounds like the power of their intention as well.
That is the marrying. It is the marrying of the intention of the person that is transmitting and the intention of the person that is receiving. They need to marry up.
That perhaps explains some of those miracles that we were taught about from the Bible even. Authoress, that's wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very helpful, very useful.